Well, hi everybody. I know we're giving all of our gals watching this webinar just another few seconds to join us. And just wanted to go ahead and say a quick hello while we do that. My name is Kali Bringham, and I'm a Pink Cadillac sales director. I live on Pensacola Beach, Florida. So I live on a little island in the Gulf of Mexico, and I'm excited to be joining you on your smartphone or your tablet or your computer today. And maybe you're still at work, or maybe you have just picked up kids, or you're starting dinner, but I am so glad that I get to just share with you a little bit today about Mary Kay. And I'm not sure why you are watching this webinar. Maybe you have a girlfriend that is winning a prize, or she is participating in some training, or maybe possibly Mary Kay is something that there's just something about it that you're curious to know about, or maybe you have some nosy questions too. But I'm excited to be able to share with you today. First, what I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about my own personal Mary Kay story, and then just a handful of facts in case you're the kind of girl that just sort of needs to know what this is all about. And it will also, I know, help you to understand why your beauty consultant is so stinking excited all the time. So hang with me to the end, and I'm even going to give you a passcode at the end that you will then share with your beauty consultant. But as I mentioned, my name's Callie. I live here in Pensacola Beach, Florida. But when I talk about my Mary Kay story, I have to go back just a little bit to when I was living in Memphis, Tennessee as a television news producer for the NBC station there. So that's what I had gotten my degree in school, and I was busy there working at the TV station, and I really thought that it was my dream job. We didn't have Facebook back then, but I do tell people if we had had Facebook, I would have had a really good Facebook life. You know, it was a career that I had worked really hard to be part of and was really devoted to it. But what you wouldn't have seen on my Facebook posts was that I was overworked, underpaid, unappreciated, completely stressed out, because I worked about 50 to 70 hours a week and I got paid for 40. So I don't know if there's any salary workers out there. Also, my coworkers were in the same boat that I was. We dealt with negativity all day long, and it really came out in this stressful working environment. We were exhausted. We were worn down. And the longer that I was there, I just remember thinking, is this all there is? You know, I work for the weekend, and then by Sunday afternoon, I have that pit in my stomach thinking, I gotta do it all over again. And I remember finding myself in that place, but I didn't know what else to do. And I started to think, well, do I go back to school? I don't have enough time to do that. I don't have any extra time. Do I try to find a lateral movement position? But I didn't know what else to do. And I live here on the Gulf Coast in Florida, and I think of it now as if I were in the middle of the ocean drowning. That's really how I felt. I was exhausted. I would cry myself to sleep. And this pink lifeline came. And there it was. It was called Mary Kay. And I swam around it. And I swam around it. And I swam around it. I was praying, God, help me find a way out of this situation. You see, I think most women have to make a decision between flexibility and finances. And here I was just making enough money to pay the bills. It's almost like golden handcuffs. I was stuck because I didn't know where else to go financially. But I certainly didn't have a life that I was loving living. And this pink lifeline was out there. I swam around it, like I said, and finally one day, I'll never forget, I was in my shower using my cleanser, and I was thinking, if something doesn't change, nothing's gonna change. What can I change? And I looked at that bottle of cleanser, and I thought to myself, even the guys I work with at the TV station wear makeup. And the girls, you know how girls can be sometimes. I was like, I don't want to talk to them, but I bet I could sell the guys some concealer and some powder and all of that. So that started my Mary Kay career. I decided to become a consultant that day. I had very limited time. I just moved to the Memphis area. I didn't know very many people, but you know what I did have? I had hope. And for the first time in a long time, hope I had more of that than I had fear, even though fear was creeping in. And I thought, I don't know if I can do this. I haven't sold anything before. I don't know anybody. You know, all the things that we come up with when we're scared. But hope was stronger. And so I went for it. For 6 months, I just committed that I would learn how to do it because I didn't know how to do any of it. I didn't know how to wear makeup. I certainly didn't know how to have my own business, but I decided to be a student. And 6 months later to the day was my last day at the TV station. I was single and supporting myself at the time, and I called it my Independence Day. I remember leaving that day just feeling like the weight of the world had come off of my shoulders. You know, I have a funny story. About 2 months later, I went back to the station to make a Mary Kay delivery. I just earned the use of my very first car, which I have to say felt pretty good because I didn't have very many cheerleaders at the TV station. They all thought I was crazy. So I walk in and I see one of the reporters, and she comes over to me and she says, "Hey, we were just talking about you." I said, "Oh, you were?" She said, "Yeah, you're the happiest person we know now, and it makes us sick." And I remember leaving thinking, oh, thank goodness I am out of that environment that was so toxic. And it took something so non-traditional like Mary Kay for me to feel that I had that opportunity that I love to share with women. Well, in the meantime, Mary Kay was so much fun. I loved being single. I loved working hard and playing hard. Eventually, I did get married, and my husband and I were really having fun with the Mary Kay business because we love to travel. When I was a little girl, the only travel I ever got to do was to visit family or go camping. And I'd heard about the trips that you could earn with Mary Kay. Well, the very first trip that we took, I actually paid for this one. I saved up my skincare money, and my husband and I got to go to Italy for our honeymoon. And that felt so incredible to be able to work really hard and then to be able to have this incredible vacation together that came from my Mary Kay sales. Well, then the trips that you could earn started to appeal to me, and I was willing to work hard for those too, because that was something I only dreamed about. The first trip was to Marbella, Spain, the coast of Spain. Then we got to go to Munich, Germany, and Salzburg, Austria. I cried that entire day because as a little girl, my only escape was I would watch The Sound of Music over and over and over again, and to be able to stand in the cemetery where the nuns hid the Von Trapps from the Nazis. That dreary, overcast day that I was there in Salzburg, Austria, I still have chills thinking about it. All came out of my Mary Kay starter kit. And then Beijing, China, walking the Great Wall of China, Monaco, the Monte Carlo, Monaco, going to the Maui, Hawaii at the Four Seasons, and then just recently back from London and Paris. I even got this scarf in Paris on my trip to travel the world and experience things like that. And then the last thing I want to share with you about my story is I mentioned I was single when I started and got married. Well, my husband and I wanted to start a family, but it just wasn't going the way that we had wanted to. And I struggled with miscarriages and infertility. It was a really dark, hard time. And here's the spoiler alert. Through modern medicine and God's grace, we do have 2 miracle babies today. They're actually not babies anymore. I'll show you their picture. There they are. We just took this a couple months ago. That's my little guy. He is 6 years old, and my little girl just turned 5. That was at a Mary Kay event. And I will never forget holding them when they were 6 weeks old and 9 weeks old and 12 weeks old. And I knew that had I stayed at that TV station, I would be leaving them to go back to work because financially we would have needed both incomes. And I bawled like a baby, and I was hormonal, and I looked at these little miracles. And I just was grateful for choices. I knew at that moment that I would never, ever, ever be in a position where I couldn't make the best choice that I wanted to make for my family. And I wanted to help other women do that too. The neatest part is that because Mary Kay is such a unique vehicle, is that through that journey, I started a support group about almost 4 years ago for women that wanted to be mommies and that couldn't. every night we pray for them. They're all across the country. And I'm so pleased to say that we now have seen over 100 babies born or adopted through this support group. It's just phenomenal. And I tell you that because Mary Kay is not always about makeup and money and pink Cadillacs. It can be about so much more, about having a voice and a platform and an opportunity to reach out and touch and change women's lives. So that might all sound like, well, that's awesome, but what are the facts? Like, how could I do this? What is really the deal about Mary Kay? Well, I'm here to tell you that our company started 52 years ago. We were a forerunner in the direct sales industry. We basically set the stage. So it's super simple, like super, super simple. So just for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you how simple it is. Are you ready? There might be 5, maybe 6 things that I tell you. Number 1 is we make 50% profit. That is the highest direct sales commission that you can make in the United States. You buy it for $1, we sell it for $2. Or we buy it for $1, because that means our own discount is 50% off. This time of year especially, how great to make half of everything you sell or just to get it at half price. Think Christmas shopping, all this stuff. You know, most husbands really love when their wives start a Mary Kay business because now they get all their stuff that guys don't even understand anyways, half price. So that's the first thing, is our profit. What would you do with an extra $100, $500, $1,000 for Christmas this year just for selling and making 50%? Number 2, you can build a team, and Mary Kay pays us commissions as we grow our team too. Wouldn't it be nice to pick who you work with? My mom's on, well, I'm on my mom's team. I wish you were on my team. There she is. And so my mom once a month makes a commission check off of me. Isn't that fun? And so it's a family business. It's become a family business for us. So you could build a team and move up the career path. We don't have quotas and we don't have territories. That means you can work your business as much or as little as you want. Do you want it as a hobby or a part-time? Maybe you were thinking about having a retail job for Christmas. Part-time, hobby time, or full-time. It's completely up to you and wherever you are in the U.S. We have a full training program because remember how I said I didn't know how to do any of this stuff? Well, we teach you how to do that. And last but not least, we have fairy tale prizes. You can win prizes as the newest consultant all the way up to those trips I was talking to you about. You can earn the use of a Mary Kay career car. Anything from a Chevy Cruze, an Equinox or Ford Fusion, the black BMW 320i, or the pink Cadillac that my kids came home from the hospital in, and they think every mommy drives a pink Cadillac. So the prizes, Mary Kay knew that women wear a lot of hats, right? A chef, a chauffeur, a maid, and one of them should be a crown. And she wanted to reward us with things that we would not buy for ourselves, but that we would work really hard for. Our culture is unique. I already mentioned that. We're built on the priorities of God first, family second, career third. And I truly believe that with that at the heart, that we draw women to this company that want more. They have a giant inside, but they want to keep their priorities, no matter what station they are in life. So, how do you get started? I'm going to show you the cutest bag ever. Don't we love bags? This is our Mary Kay starter kit bag. It's like the best Groupon you'll ever get. It has over $500 of stuff inside, and you order it from Mary Kay for $100 plus tax and shipping. I go to Target to return something, and I get sucked in, and $100 later. So $100 doesn't have to change your life, but what are you risking if you don't? Oh my goodness, I look back and I think of all the things that I would have risked if I hadn't risked the $100. The freedom to be a work from home momtrepreneur, the travel around the world, the home that we live in now, the ability to give my husband choices too. Sunday afternoons and evenings are my favorite time of the week now. So what are you risking? I bet you might be risking a lot more to not try it than to try it. So on that note, we're going to wrap this up. You might have more questions. I know I was super simple, but I'm telling you, this is the simplest business. You start it for $100, and then the sky is the limit. give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose. So what you're going to do now is you're going to fill out a brief Google survey for your beauty consultant. There is a passcode. It is opportunity, because boy, is this just not an incredible opportunity for you to consider. So again, opportunity is the passcode. And I hope that you consider this opportunity for you. You really have nothing to risk at all, because there might be a dangling of hope there for you too. So thanks for watching. Make it a beautiful, beautiful day, and be sure to share your thoughts and your opinions with your beauty consultant. Bye-bye from Pensacola Beach, Florida.